Okay, so today we'll be discussing about the different APIs which we are using for all the four flows which we discussed yesterday, and what is the database schema, how the tables are in which the profiles and the points and everything are stored. So I'll just start with the database so that you guys will have an idea of, once we discuss that APIs later, how are we storing those points and profiles. Just give me 1 minute. All right. So basically, I'll open that database structure. Okay, so first one is the profiles. So there are basically 5 tables which we have for image in which different profile data are stored. So the first one is member profile, in which all the profile data which we get in the request, like the profile yesterday I was discussing, right? These emails, first name, last name, nationality, and everything, and the service types, the IDs, the internally generated, what we are generating IDs, all those IDs, everything, all the profile data are stored in this member profile table. Okay. So first, let me explain how our profiles are. So we'll take an example of DNI, SISTN, first rep, service type. Okay. So in our Claro Peru deployment, we have this uh, like in one account there can be multiple numbers. Yesterday I was discussing this, right? One account can have either prepaid, postpaid, or fixed. I mean, it's not like that one client can have only one prepaid or only one postpaid. It can be multiple accounts in every client. So let's suppose I'm taking this DNI as 98765 4. Okay. Now in this, if it is yesterday I discussed that if it is a prepaid account, we'll get the MSISDN of that number. So MSISDN is the phone number. So let's suppose we have some phone number, and then if it is a postpaid, we'll get some custref, which is basically the postpaid account ID. So let's take off account ID of. Okay, take one more postpaid here, just for example. So all these, I'll take one fixed also. Okay, so all these four accounts in this particular client for this particular client are same. I mean, our this DNI will be same for all these four accounts, because all these four accounts belong to the same client, which has this DNI. Like DNI is nothing but the internal Claro ID or maybe the passport ID, anything. So uh, we have one internally generated loyalty account ID. This is the ID which system generates. Our LMS system generates this ID. So it is a 16-digit ID. Right now it is a configuration. We can change that. So right now it is a 16-digit ID. I'll take this for example. Uh, so this ID will be generated of the length will be 16 digits internally right now. That is the configuration. So we have one more internal generated ID called membership ID. Now, if you see the loyalty account ID, it will be same for all the accounts under a client. This will be the same because this DNI is same for this account. I mean, this all the accounts belong to a same client. But the membership ID, which is uniquely identified, this membership ID value will be unique for every client. So membership ID right now is the 11-digit number. Okay, so this will be different for every client. This will not be the same. So if I have this, so suppose we are generating these four membership IDs. So this is how the data works in our system. And for prepaid account, we are storing both the data, like we are getting MSIs in only, but we are storing the same value in customer reference column. All right. And in similar way, if we get the account IDs for postpaid and landline, we are storing the same value in MSISD field. So that this does not remain empty, but it does not, we are not getting both the data in case of accounts. For prepaid, we are getting MSISD, and for postpaid, we are getting, for postpaid and landline, we are getting customer reference. So this is how the data looks like for one client. If you see one client, this is the MSISDN, customer reference, service type. The account ID will be same. The loyalty account ID which we generate internally will be same, but the membership ID, so that we can identify this particular account uniquely. So these four membership IDs will be different. So this is how these all data are stored in member profile table. This is the main most important table for the profile data. So this will contain all, as many number of accounts are there. Let's suppose we have four accounts. It will contain four entries, this member profile table. But in contrast, these two tables, customer profile and LMS subscription info, this will contain only one entry with DNI and loyalty account ID. These two parameters and the most recently created account under this. Let's suppose I add some created date time also. Okay. So the table's customer profile and LM subscription info will have the data for DNI, loyalty account ID, and the created date time. So it will have only one entry. So I'll make an entry also. Okay. So member profile, this is member profile, and this will be customer profile and LMS subscription info. These two tables. So the main difference between these two tables are in this member profile, we'll have four entries. For if we take this example, we'll have four entries because there are four accounts, right? But in customer profile, we'll have only one entry because this client is same. This all accounts are under same client. Guys, you got the difference between these tables? How are we storing the data? Hello. Uh, I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So is it clear? Because this is a most important difference between these two tables, which you'll have to know. Like member profile table has all the account details. For one client, there can be multiple accounts, and it will have all those accounts in that table. We'll have all those accounts. But the customer profile and LMS subscription info, these two tables, customer profile and LMS subscription info, will have only one entry per client. All right. So I'll show you the data. Let's take one example. Batch production. So I'll just show you all the data in a particular account. Let's take one. Okay. So this account, which I'm currently showing, right? This is the DNI, the parent, the first column parent ID is the DNI, which I was showing in this Excel sheet, the DNI, this value. Okay. So this parent ID, if you see, all those MSISDNs are different. 96, 98, 97, 99, right? I mean, this is a service type. Two are postpaid, two are prepaid, and we'll have four entries for one account ID. And if you see, these all are, I mean, these are test data, so you'll see this, I mean, the same first name and the profile data, but it will be different in original scenario. So first name, last name, gender, date of birth, what is the preferred language of that user, what is the nationality. These all profile parameters are in member profile table. Similarly, email ID, and then yeah. So this is the data. IDs I was talking about. These two IDs are generated by LMS internally. So these are membership ID and loyalty account ID. So if you see, all the four members have different membership IDs. All the four accounts are, these all IDs are different membership IDs, but the account ID, all the four are same because it belongs to a single client. Now, if I search for this ID in customer profile table, so the first column ID is that ID. Sorry, not this ID. Sorry, this is the DNI ID. We have one account ID. Yeah, the loyalty ID. This is the ID which we are generating internally. So if I search this ID, it will have only one entry per client. So this is the DNI. The first one ID is DNI, which is the same as this value, the parent ID in member profile table. So there are four entries in member profile, but there is only one entry in customer profile per client. Similar way, if I search for this ID in LMS subscription info, that column names are pretty different. You'll get used to it. So this is the column name in this table is account ID for the loyalty account ID. Sorry, I searched for. If I search for this loyalty account ID here, you'll have only one entry per client. So in this table also, there is only one entry, right? So these table LMS subscription info just shows that the user is enrolled, nothing more than that. Customer profile also shows that the user is present in the system, but the main table, member profile, will have all the actual data, the profile data, and the membership IDs and created data and anything. What all profiles we have. So yesterday I was talking about the active status, right? This AC and CL, right? When we deactivate the customers, this member status. So if you see here, under this DNI, under this account, only one member is active, other all are closed. So this is what the member status denotes. Now we have one more table to store these details, like when was this customer, the member status changed for this customer, when it became active to closed, right? So we have one more table for that, which is called member status history. So let me just open that also. If I search for this account ID in this table, we'll get to see all the status changes that happened for this customer. So if you see, for this MSISDN, first the user was not enrolled, then it became enrolled, and after that from enrolled, it became deactivated, closed. So not any E is not enrolled, and AC is enrolled, active, and similarly CL is closed. There's one more table called member status code, which has this codes. Yesterday I showed you this table. So if you want to see what those status codes mean, so CL means it's closed, NE means it's not enrolled, and AC means it's active, which is enrolled. So if you see, for this particular MSISDN, the 699999, so first it was not enrolled, and then it became enrolled on 26th of July 2023. And then from enrolled, that user went to close state on 16th of May, whatever date is there. Similarly, for this user, the active user is still active, and then similarly for these users, that it went from active to close status. This is the this table stores the status change history. This is another one of the important profile tables which we have. And the last profile table is member status code. I mean, it is just a master table, which I already showed. This just stores all the the status codes with their status names. So this is the five profile tables, which I mean, this if you remove this member status code, it's just a master table. No updates will happen to this table because it should have only these 9 data. So in real time scenario, whenever a user gets created or a client gets created, these 4 tables are updated or inserted. We insert the data in these 4 tables: member profile, customer profile, LMS subscription info, and member status history. So this is all about the profile data, how the data are getting stored. So if you see in this presentation, the columns which are connected in these tables, you can see here. So if you the ID parameter in customer profile is the parent ID parameter in member profile. Similarly, loyalty ID parameter in customer profile is loyalty account ID in member profile, and ID types are same. Similarly, in member profile, what is the value which is loyalty account ID is loyalty ID is the account ID in LMS subscription info. So basically, the table names, I mean, the column names are getting changed, but the values which we are storing is same. So a membership ID is the column is named as membership ID in member profile, and it is named as LPCU number in LMS subscription info. So once you go through this uh, presentation slides, you'll get to know the exact uh, columns which are same in all these tables, right? So any doubt in profile tables, guys?
Sure. About can you show us again the status code in the table? I saw one status code IR, uh, invalid RP
Invalid
status.
RP status. This is I'll explain. So this is a master table which is same in all our deployments, all the LMS deployments. So for Claro, we only have to have 3 statuses: active, closed,
Ah,
and not enrolled. That's it.
got, got it. Thanks.
Yeah. So this IR
Okay.
was a status for a different, the client, but it's not in Claro. Right now, we don't use this status in Claro.
Okay. A question. For example,
Yeah.
the at the beginning the customer is in not enrolled. After that, go to
Yes.
active. But for any
Yes.
reason, for back again for not enrolled or for inactive, because we don't have we only have three
No, no, no,
status.
no. So I'll tell you. So once a customer goes from, I mean, once a customer is created, it automatically goes to active here. So we
Oh,
don't, I
okay.
mean, this internally works, not enrolled internally works, but we don't have any status as not enrolled in Claro. So this not
Ah,
enrolled was again a different deployment, not here. So once a customer is created, it directly goes to AC status. Okay. So once that customer is deactivated, it can go to CL, and if you reactivate the customer again, it will go back to AC.
okay. Why? Which reasons have the client to deactivate? The customer ask, please
That is
deactivate.
that no, 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 no. Customer will not ask us. They will just send us the API request. It's up. It's under the control of Claro when to activate, when to deactivate the customers. It's not
Okay.
what LMS is maintaining. It's completely
And
maintained by the client, by our Claro Peru. We just get the API request, then we create the user or we deactivate the user accounts.
perfect. Doesn't have any experience with the
No, we cannot manipulate any data. I mean, all the data are coming
perfect.
from Claro. All the
Got it.
profile, all the transactional data are coming from Claro.
Okay. Thanks, Rich. Thanks.
All right. So I'll just now move on to the important transactional tables which we have. So basically, we have in this sheet you can see 6 tables, but voucher summary we don't have any voucher concept in Claro. So we'll not be using this table voucher summary. So we'll just be using LMS transaction info, LPTP summary, earned redeem transaction mapping, and these two summary tables, total earned redeem monthly summary and total earned redeem summary. These five tables are used. Voucher summary is not used here because we don't have any vouchers right now in this deployment right now. I mean, as of now, we don't have any vouchers. Okay, so I'll go table by table. Okay, first I'll explain these three tables because the rest two, these two tables, these are the summary tables in which we are storing complete summary details. So the main important tables are. So the first one, I mean, we had discussed yesterday also, right? LPTP summary. So this table just stores every earned transaction. So just this is a very important point. Just remember that this table will only store the earned transaction. So specifically, we have earned transaction ID as a column here also. There will not be any redemption transactions stored in this table. It's just that whenever a redemption happens, these points may get updated, but this is all earned transaction IDs. Okay. So it only stores when that points were earned and when that points will get expired and how many of those points are already redeemed or expired. So let's suppose for this points earned were 6 and then points got expired and when was the expiry date? What was the earned transaction ID? And that's it. So this is if you see for every I mean as we have this our table structure, it will store the MSSN value, it will store the this LPCU number is the membership ID, the unique ID for every account, and account ID is the unique ID for every client. So these are all data that are stored in this table. And the point explained, there are three type of points in LMS right now which we are using for Claro. So these are regular, bonus, and promotional points. So the values will be 1, 8, or 9 as according to the type of points. Okay, so this is what the LPTP summary table stores. Now, if we go to the elements transaction info table, it is a very huge table because it stores all the data. I mean, all the transactions that are happening in LMS. Not only earned, it will. I'll just show you what all data it will store. Okay. So if you see, there are many transaction types that can happen in LMS. Okay. So I'll just okay. So this is the earn transaction. Then there are expiry transactions. And once we go through all those APIs, we'll get to know what is this ownership change. This is fixed account owner change. This is postpaid account owner change. This is prepaid account owner change. So we have one API where we are changing the ownership of the account, which we'll get to know once we go through all those APIs. And this is miles to points is what Claro has their miles like the Latam miles. Like there's this air flights. We get some points, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, how they that system is they're working, but we have these two transaction types as miles to points and points to miles specifically for Claro. So this is to convert those miles to the points and points back to miles. So miles is their internal unit for their Latam miles. To, when you book some flight, you get some miles as a, reward, and then you can use those miles to convert to points, and then you can use those points while booking another flight. So this is their system, specifically to their system. And then we have redeem transactions, we have refund transactions, we have termination whenever a user or client gets terminated. We have this type of accounts, this type of transactions. And then there is a migration, right? Whenever you migrate from your postpaid account to prepaid account, or from prepaid account to postpaid account. So this is postpaid to prepaid migration, and this is prepaid to postpaid migration. So post to pre migration and pre to post migration. So this can also be a transaction type. And there is also a transfer type of transfer points. So whenever you transfer some points, so let's suppose I am transferring points from my account to from A's account to B account. So you will earn some points. I'll for me it will be a redemption because I'm sending you the points. My account is getting the points are getting deducted from my account. So for me it will be transfer redeem, and the user who gets the point will be transfer earned. So we'll get in details of all these when we go through the APIs. But right now we all have these all type of transactions. So these LMS transaction info will have all those transactions: redeem, earn, expiry, refund, transfer, migration, service type migration, ownership change, everything. So this is a very huge table. If you see, there are like 60, 70 records in this table. Yeah. So I'll go through just the important columns which we need. So this is the transaction ID. Again, this is the membership ID. This is account ID. This is membership ID. Sorry, this is MS16. This is account ID, which is generated by LMS. And this is also a membership ID, which is generated by LMS. So it is called LPCU number in this table. So again, I mean, there are many parameters which are not completely used by cloud. I mean, this is